Hey guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides here. I've got the phone horizontal today instead of vertical. I'm just trying something a little bit different. Hang on a second, actually. There you go. My charging cord kept wanting to turn it. But doing my wrap-up video. It is September 3rd. It's, Sunday morning. This is the wrap-up video, though, for Saturday the 2nd. And, had a pretty good night. Hang on a second, guys. There you go. Not as great as I had hoped. For a Saturday, I think the weather hurt a little bit. It really did kind of detract from business just a tad. I was in DC tonight. I started, around my normal time. I think it was like 3 o'clock-ish. And got no rides. I didn't even use my destination mode. I know I broke my routine a little bit there, but headed straight for the airport because I really wanted to get to DC right away. I have to get this quest goal done to 65 trips to get the extra 110, and I knew I needed to get down to DC as quick as possible. So I didn't want to get waylaid with any, Baltimore trips that might have taken time. And I got to the airport. The luck of the draw was on my side. The very first ride I got out of the airport, which took a while, by the way, it was a bit of a wait, took me to Bethesda. So, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And, once I was in Bethesda, I just, I got into the city. I did a couple trips out of Reagan. And that might have been my downfall, I'll be honest. I was thinking about this evening because the queue moved fast the first time, but really the second 2 times I was at Reagan, it was kind of slow. It did not move as quick as I expected it to. Not the usual Reagan, light speed. So, that might have been my hindrance a little bit. But I ended the night at $196 through the Uber app. That's to me, and then $15, $18 in cash tips. I haven't counted it. It's a bunch of 1s and 5s in my dashboard here. And so, let's call it 210, just a rough number. And that's a good thing, but I've got to do 28 trips tomorrow, Sunday, between Sunday and 4 a.m. Monday to get the 110. And that's tricky, guys, because I've been averaging about 20 trips. So I got to work my ass off, pardon my language, Sunday. I'm going to start a little bit earlier. I'm not even going to stop at BWI, so there's that for those of you out there that are, that are listening. It's not going to be a day to see me at the airport. I know Sundays are typically great airport days, and I get that. Sundays are typically great airport days, but, my mission this week is to really challenge myself with this DC stuff and really push. And if I do it right, if I get another $200 tomorrow and I qualify for the 110, then I'll have done about $900, a little bit more than that, in 4 days. And, honestly, guys, that's kind of a game changer because I've been typically doing my $1,000 weeks on a 6-day work week. I'm not going to lie, 5.5 or 6 full days. So, maybe that's a sign of things to come. Maybe that's entirely just because it's Labor Day weekend and the volume of business is different. Maybe it's DC. I don't know. There's too many variables I don't know yet. Obviously I've got to work in DC more before I really get a sense of trends and what nights are really busy and what nights aren't. Because, I've had a Thursday, a Friday, and now a Saturday. But I've only had one of each. And, that isn't nearly enough to make an educated decision. It isn't nearly enough to say that I can, do this repetitively. So, but if I could do a 5-day work week in DC and still do $1,000, I'd be happy with that. And if I continue to get these quest challenges that are attainable and fruitful. $150 a week in Quest is great. It's free money, guys. That's like a half a night, or a night, a weeknight. So, so that's kind of the other piece of the pie is, do I get the Quest? Do I complete it? Next week's quests, what are they going to look like? The boost in DC is phenomenal, guys. 1.6 to 1.9 on the weekend nights is great. I mean, I definitely capitalized on that tonight. Some of my rides, definitely were more profitable than they would have been had there not been boost. So, that's kind of where we stand, guys. It is a short video. I am on track to make my $900 goal for 4 days, which would be great. I'm on track. My fingers are crossed. That's what we're hoping for. And, this is a plan C kind of deal here, guys. I know I've switched things up a couple times now. First, I was thinking about this tonight while I was driving. When I first started this whole process months ago with the videos, I was predominantly driving in the city. And then I started doing more and more trips at the airport, but I didn't always like it. And now I've got then I got into a love relationship with the airport where I liked it because I felt like it was, quality over quantity. But then, this whole DC challenge thing has got me thinking, okay, maybe there's another way that I can make money and make my time beneficial. So it's a different model. Again, it's another, it's me switching strategies again, trying something different again. I get all that. But, at the end of the day, guys, that's what this is about. This is about me making money, taking care of my family. And it's about, not just peanut butter and jelly every night. I say that kind of jokingly, but you have to have, variety. You've got to have strategies, and then you've got to have plan B strategies for when plan A fails, plan C strategies for when plan B fails. You've got, and I think there's a seasonality to Uber that I'm just barely beginning to understand or recognize. And obviously a year, 12 months, and then some, and I'll truly be able to say, okay, there's a trend. But, right now I'm just barely beginning to get the inkling of what these trends or seasonal fluctuations are. Obviously the college flux in and out is definitely one that I recognize, May, and then now in, August, September. The summer flux is kind of tricky. I'm not going to lie, it's tricky. So we're going to see where this goes. We're just going to see where this goes. Am I predominantly going to work in DC? That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like, guys. Doesn't mean I don't like BWI. Doesn't mean I don't think airport trips are amazing. I think there's money to be made doing that too. But, this whole Quest boost thing and working smarter, not harder, is, has always been one of my life's mottos. And if I can, be fruitful working down in DC where there's better promotions, better incentives, better fares, then I'm going to do that. And it's consistent because the nightlife is pretty active down there. Then that might be a more stable way to go because, there's airport nights where you just don't have good money. You get a lot of short trips and you invest a lot of time in a very random system, a system where you don't necessarily control as much as you should. So that's the downfall of the airport, guys. That's the downfall of working airport trips is that, if you're lucky and you got that horseshoe and, 4-leaf clover and rabbit's foot and all that stuff, then you can make a lot of money at the airport. And I've had a couple good days. I'm not going to lie. I've had some good days, but I'm not a lucky person. I'm just not. I don't believe in luck. I think, you control your own fate. And generally luck does not smile upon me. If I'm going to get any measure of luck, it's going to be bad luck. So I've got to go out there and I've got to work. That's the only way I'm going to get the numbers I need, is by working my ass off. Pardon my language. Some people get lucky and all their trips are long trips and all their trips are $50 fares. And that's great for those people that get that. I am not one of those people. I do not get lucky like that. I have to work my ass off to make the money I need to make. And I don't have a problem with that. That's anybody that knows me knows that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to put my mind to it, and I'm going to put in the hours that are necessary, or I'm going to put in the hard work that's necessary, or I'm going to put in the brain power that's necessary to think the strategy through. And it's probably a measure of all of the above. And that's what these videos are about, guys. It's about me sharing some of that learning curve with you guys. Helping you guys along, because I was telling somebody tonight, I didn't get any help. When I started this, I downloaded the app, I turned it on, and I just went. My first couple rides were weird. I was nervous, I was scared, whatever. And then I started driving in the city, started driving in certain neighborhoods. Then I started to figure out what neighborhoods I liked, and then I played with what times. I mean, you guys have seen the videos, it was a learning experience for me, figuring it out basically on my own with very little help. I went on YouTube, I read on the internet, so I was definitely doing research, but, homework, if you will. But if you don't have, eyes on the ground help, then you're struggling. And that's the problem with YouTube and the internet, is there wasn't, for me, a lot of real world information that helped drivers in Baltimore like me. There was tons of people on YouTube doing stuff in Miami, doing stuff in California, doing stuff in New York, whatever. All these other major metropolitan areas that are nothing like Baltimore and DC. And that was my frustration, was, they were making numbers that were not relevant or comparable. They were driving in markets that were not comparable. And so a lot of their experiences I couldn't really learn from. And so my premise behind these videos, if you don't already understand or know, or maybe you haven't watched them from the beginning, is to help people specifically in our area. Not somebody watching in California. I mean, it's cool if you're watching and you live in California, and maybe you still get stuff out of it. I don't know. But if you're an Uber driver in Maryland, then my videos can probably help you. And that's what it's about. So I'm going to wrap it up from here, guys, because it's late and I'm tired. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Wish me luck. Everybody have a great night.